Hey everyone, Agnach here. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm bringing you the newest spam strategy to hit the World's Warm-Up Tournament. Unicorns of Love showed it first, and now everyone, including alternate attacks, is using it. I used to use a similar strategy with Super Giants and Witches, where I would zap both scatters. However, after the nerf of the lightning spell, I didn't think this would work anymore. However, this attack brings a million free spells, which helps minimizing the splash damage from the scatters or the whiz towers or whatever it might be. So over here we've got Ast coming in. He's up the left hand side, and then he's coming in with the Giants and the Witches with the log launcher going all the way through to the town hall. Now the thing with this attack, as you can see, he does have 6 freezes, so he's gonna be able to use a lot of those freezes on the town hall. Now another thing I noticed as well with him is he brought Valkyries and an ice golem in his log launcher. I haven't tried that myself, but it might be a good thing to try. Now he just keeps freezing that town hall and the air expo over and over again. Now I'm not quite sure, I haven't looked at it that closely, but that one there is a single inferno. So this attack, you will notice it's really good against single inferno bases, even if there's one multi-inferno. And I have tried it in Legends League, and it still triples 3 multi-inferno bases. However, it's definitely a lot easier if there's single infernos on the base. So if you're a defender, you don't want to get spammed, you better start changing those inferno towers onto multis. The main core of this army is the Super Giants and Witches. I usually like bringing a couple of Super Wall Breakers and an Ice Golem. Spells, you need either 5 lightning and 2 quakes, or 6 lightning and 1 quake. Both of those combinations get rid of a Scattershot and Expo. Obviously, if you are planning for a war attack and you're gonna be getting rid of one of the single Inferno towers or multi-Inferno towers, single Inferno would be a waste. But let's say a multi-Inferno, then you can bring 5 lightning and 1 quake, and then you can bring something else with that spell. The rest of the spells are freezes. Also, in one of my accounts, I do have a rage instead of 2 freezes, so I only bring 4 freezes on that account. I use the log launcher with a couple of Yetis, and at the moment I have started using a Super Wall Breaker, which opens up the next inward wall. So sometimes, because this attack is a little bit interesting, like you have to come in from the opposite side of the town hall to get the most value out of the log launcher, so you don't want to get a 1-star. So I'll show you Legend League replays, but we'll also show an attack I did in a competitive war. So let's start with that. So this is the attack, and I'm coming in against Setien of Infinity. This was in one of our MWL tournaments. So as you can see, I did the same thing, zap and quake, scatter and an expo. The other thing about zapping that side is that it also creates a nice little funnel for my troops. I just have to get rid of the 6 o'clock defenses, which is why I had the king over there just trying to funnel some more defenses down there, and then just send the rest of my army in directly into the town hall from the opposite side. I'll freeze the Scattershot just to make sure that it doesn't kill a lot of my witches, and I also froze the single inferno, but that's alright. This base has 2 single infernos and a multi-inferno, so my plan was to get rid of the multi-inferno with my royal champion, which is coming now around 7 o'clock. And with my freezes, I just continually keep freezing that town hall until it goes down. If I have any freezes left, then it's beautiful and I can use it elsewhere. If I don't have any freezes left, then that's fine, but at least the town hall went down and you don't get that 1-star. Now the only thing with this army as well is just having that pathing for your troops to actually go all the way through to the town hall. I've had it a few times where they just start going elsewhere, which I will be showing you now in my legend hit attacks. Now this one is very similar to a very common base in Legends, and I've also been finding way too many multi-infernos. At the moment I'm around the 5600 mark. So everyone knows that to counter spam you need to have multi-infernos. The only thing with that is that then Yeti Smash, P.E.K.K.A. Smash, Yeti Smash, any of those smashes, they can come back if you have all 3 of them in multi-infernos. So over here as well, I zap one of the scatters, the expo as well, and then I start spamming my troops in a line between 3 and 6 o'clock with the log launcher coming in at 4. Now the other thing with the log launcher is that it dies very quickly. That's one of the reasons as well why you use the wooden ability nice and early, just to make sure that if it does get targeted, that the defenses aren't damaging it faster, and it dies faster. But if you're coming in from the opposite side, you can never think that your log launcher is going to get all the way to the tank hole. It's not like the wall breaker. So now we've got the Royal Champion getting rid of one of the multi-infernos. We've got the Queen with ability, and she always detests going into the tank hole, but finally she goes. I use her ability, everything goes down, and it's a nice triple. Now, as you can see, it is a very dangerous strategy. You can get a 3-star or you can get a 1-star. About 5,600 trophies. They all seem to have the same base, all very similar bases, where you have an eagle on one side, a tank hole on the other, and this compartment size base. It's quite annoying with this army, to be honest, and you will see why. Like over here, I'm even putting the king at 12 o'clock because I want him to clear that area to make sure that most of my army stays with a log launcher, but most of my army went up the top and ended up dying. Now I'm bringing the Royal Champ just to help the king, just to make sure that my queen doesn't start going to 12 and starts going away from the tank hole, but they're not quick enough. The queen decides to go through the wall and she's going to be going up. So as you can see, I only have 4 witches going towards the tank hole. I've got 2 freezes, so I could have kept freezing the tank hole. However, I thought, okay, I still have the king, I've got the queen with ability, I've got the Royal Champ with ability, and they're all coming from 9 o'clock going down towards the tank hole. So probably it's better if I just wait and don't use those freezes for the witches, which they're not gonna bring the tank hole down, and I'll just use those freezes for when my heroes actually get there. So when my Royal Champ gets there, I start freezing the tank hole, and the Archer Tower, she gets rid of the tank hole, and now I can use my queen to snipe all of the other buildings as my king and warden are tanking. So yeah, with this army you do have to adapt very quickly. Now this is another one of the bases, so you don't always have to zap the scatter shots. On this occasion I decided to go for the warden statue and a couple of expos, damaging also the eagle and an expo as well with the quakes. And then I start with my funneling at 9, funneling at 6, and sending the log launcher around 7. And as you can see, the tank hole is on the other side of the base. A lot of people ask me, oh well, what do you do with this type of bases with that spam strategy? Well, this is what I do, and to be honest, it is risky. It is very risky. You can go for like a 3-star or you can go for a 1-star. I've had quite a few 1-stars on my live streams of my legend hits, but thankfully this one we didn't, so I'll show you this one. So now we've got the freezes, so I'm just gonna keep freezing the scatter, the multi, and the tank hole. We still have one more, so I'm freezing the multi and the tank hole. Now I'm gonna freeze the scatter shot. To be honest, I wanted to freeze both, but I couldn't freeze both of them. Well, I did have a nice golem that dies just at the perfect time. We still have a trillion witches down there, and they're gonna be able to snipe the tank hole down. If that tank hole didn't go down, this would have been like a 95% 1-star. So as I said, it's risky, but it's possible. Like, you can do it. And another thing that you could do, instead of using the log launcher, you can just use the wall breaker if you know how to protect it properly. Over here, another base that I didn't zap the scatter shots, so I went for the expos and the eagle, and I went more for pathing. Since the tank hole is all the way to the right, I wanted to zap on the left hand side, just so that I have that blank space to push my troops towards the right, the center and the right. Then I've got the log launcher coming in, opening more walls, and my main troops are going inside the base. Now the log launcher ends up waking up the tank hole. Now I'm thinking on this account, Captain Anki, I've got a rage instead of 2 freezes. So what I'm thinking is, instead of having a rage, I'm bringing a poison and a freeze, because yesterday's Legend League day, I had 24 hits, and in all 24 of them, the CC always had super minions. Like, it was always super minions. And super minions can be killed very quickly with the witches. However, they do stall quite a fair bit, and usually they target the log launcher very quickly or one of your heroes. So if you have the poison, it will slow it down. So I'm gonna be trying that today, and I'll let you guys know how I go. This base, the good thing is that it's 3 singles. Most of the time, if you're above 5500, you will find 3 multis or 2 multis in 1 single, and that's really hard with witches. Still possible, but pretty hard. So on this one, again, we zap that. We come in from 6 to 9, and the log launcher at 7, going all the way in. The log launcher is also damaging that single inferno, which is perfect. I've got the royal champion to get rid of the eagle, nice and quick. Now the other good thing about the log launcher, whenever you have like ground troops coming out of the CC, is that the log launcher can kill it so quickly. And over here we still had 2 freezes. I used one for that single inferno, probably swagged it, so I had 1 left, and I was trying to figure out, is like, well, I'm gonna have to save it for the temple. I didn't want to freeze the enemy queen. I just wanted to wait for the queen to go down, freeze the barbarian king. Temple, Bob King goes down. We can go towards the temple. We still have a yeti, we still have some witches, and the temple is going down nice and quick, and this was a nice triple against monster. And then this is another one of the common bases. This one, look at it, it's got 3 multi-infernos, so we decided to get rid of one of the multi-infernos and one of the scatters. That's really good value with your zaps. And also I got rid of one of the bomb towers, so 3 splash damage defenses. That's pretty good value if you can do that. And then I use my super wall breakers at 9 and at 6 to open the walls so that some of my army does go into funnel, and then I send the rest of my army at 7:30 just to go inside the base. Now the log launcher is going to be able to get rid of the tankle. I do decide to freeze it just to make sure that my yetis do get there and get the tankle down. Now that multi-inferno in the middle of the base is a pain, but thankfully these yeti mites were very smart and ended up jumping all the way in towards the multi-inferno instead of walking somewhere else, and that multi-inferno went down. If that multi-inferno hadn't gone down, this would have been a fail. However, it did go down and it was a triple. So we've got still the RC going around the base. We only have that expo, the archer tower, and the wiz tower. The expo goes down to the witches, the archer tower goes down to the RC. This was a nice triple against Momo-chan. This is another type of base, and again I'm gonna be zapping the scatter and 2 expos, so it's a lot of value. And I decided to zap the town hall as well, sorry, the quake, the town hall as well, to just give it a little bit of damage, and then just start from 12 to 3 with the log launcher in between. As you can see, the deployment is always the same. The big thing with this army is realizing where you want to come in from. But as you can see, if you use the log launcher and you're using spam, your spam will break away from where your log launcher is going. So this army with the log launcher is really good against ring bases, but against these sort of bases or bases where the tank is on the opposite side, I would probably suggest using a wall wrecker instead of a log launcher. So I will be trying to use a wall wrecker on my final day today in my legend kits and see if that makes a difference. The big thing with that one is that log launcher, as it's moving forward and getting rid of the defenses, it gets rid of the defenses, obviously, so that, and there's nothing to pull the troops inside where the log launcher is going. Instead, with the wall wrecker, the troops are moving in with the wall wrecker instead of away from it. So that's the big difference between the two, and I think if you're coming in from totally the opposite side of the base, it's the best thing to do. On this one, I decided to zap the queen, the multi, the scatter, and the expos. The queen still has a little bit of health, but not much. And again, the deployment of 2 super giants, 2 witches at 12, the same thing at 3, and then the main army in between. I sometimes also like putting the king with one of the funneling sides. I wanted my king to go inside. Probably if I had had a 3rd super wall breaker, he would have gone into the wooden statue, and it would have been a better funnel. As you can see, everything ends up walking again. The headhunters went straight to my queen and killed her. I used the rage for the yetis, just trying to get down there. I froze the scatter just to make sure that it doesn't kill my yetis too quickly. But then the Yetis didn't go for the scatter, they went elsewhere. But we still have the royal champion. We've got the king walking on the outside. Now here I was praying that the king was going to be able to kill the defending king, and then I was going to be able to use the royal champion to get rid of the Thankful. As you can see, not many defenses left. So once the king went down, I used her ability, then I got the Thankful. As you can see, it was already damaged, partly from the earthquakes that I used on it at the beginning, and that's another reason why I'm using the earthquakes at the beginning. If the Thankful is going to be activated by the time I get there, what's the point of not activating it, right? So at least you get a bit of damage. So this is the army. Please try it out. It's actually really good, really powerful, and very easy. So if you like the video, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time with more Clash. And I'll be doing later on a live attack with this army on my channel, so also follow that. And I'll see you next time. See ya.